Before we go through the PowerPoint, could the elections committee members introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's David. I'm part of Student Activities Board, and this is my last semester at Bergen.
Thank you.
Cool, I guess I'll go next. Okay, sure. Hi, my name's Blaze. I'm on the Elections Committee. I'm the Vice President of Recruitment for Phi Theta Kappa, and this is also my last semester at Bergen.
All right. Is Ariana on here? I guess she's not on here yet.
No, she just got on.
Okay. Ariana, do you want to introduce yourself to the group?
Guess not. Okay.
All right, we'll circle back to that. So let's get started. Here's the presentation I'll be going through. This is the best way I can screen share. If I click start presentation, and for some reason won't work. So everyone here, you're here because you're interested in the spring 2020 elections. That will be deciding the e-board members for the 2020-2021 school year. Hopefully that will all be in person. So quick summary, we represent the Student Government Association. That's the voice of the student body here at Bergen. Oh, what happened there? Are you guys still able to see my screen share or no?
No, not anymore.
I just got booted. There we go. If you were a student government involved member in high school, this is a little different because we have more of a shared duty here at Bergen. If you're an SGA, we bridge the administration and the student body. We are the voice, and it's a shared governance. In a sense, we do have a lot of power, and our voice does matter, which is why it's really important as e-board members, just SGA members, to be part of the organization because that voice is needed. A lot of changes that we have made and will continue to make as an organization. So, one of the most important things to know before you even move forward with your application is if you're eligible. So some of the eligibility requirements is you need a minimum of 3.0 GPA. That is rounded to the nearest 10th. Unfortunately, that is a non-negotiable aspect of the requirement. He represent,
I'm
sorry?
Sorry about that. I had to use my laptop.
Just could you mute yourself, Stephanie?
What happened? What's up?
Could you just mute yourself, please?
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay, so that's the GPA requirement. We expect all of our student leaders to have a good academic standing, and on top of that is a good standing in terms of conduct. Ian is on this call. He's the director, coordinator of student conduct. None of the candidates could have a history of plagiarism or anything that would have gotten them in trouble and had a meeting with Ian. So if that is you, unfortunately, you're not eligible. Another biggie is you have to be here for the entire school year next year if you want to be an e-board member. So if you have any plans of graduating, halfway through, we're studying abroad, I guess even. Please do not run for the e-board position because it is a full year commitment. So moving on. Due to COVID-19, the application has been adjusted. It's good for the candidates because it has been greatly simplified. There is an online application, and only an online application now, which I will, if we have time, click on the SGA page to show you guys how to access that. As for the other stuff, we want you to have a professional resume ready to be submitted as part of the application. I know some of you may not have one. I certainly did it when I first applied to be on student government. I'm actually really glad that that was a requirement because it made me go to Career Center and ask friends to help make a resume, which I ended up having to use for various other things since then. So if you need help with the resume, career counseling is still available virtually, so you can access them, or there's so many resources online now. Another one is a headshot. If you go on if you don't have a professional one, you can do a selfie, or you can have your mom or your siblings take one for you. It doesn't have to be professional. You just want to have a headshot so the people voting can see who you are and put a name to a face. If you want some example, you could go on the Bergen SGA page, and the e-board members all have a headshot. Sorry, let me mute that. Additionally, we are asking the candidates to make a 2-minute video. If you have a webcam, you can use your phone. Just a quick 2-minute discussing, why you want to run, why you're interested in the position you're running for, and why you'd be a good candidate. Also, it'd be great if you could tie in some relevant COVID-19 issues and concerns that you can address as an e-board member. And lastly, that's required is a candidate bio. There's a 500-word essay that's like more broad. The details on what needs to be in that is, going to be in the application. But on top of that, we're asking for a 200-character max bio, a little short bio. Please fit it in that limited character requirement, because it will show up on the actual application. Your essay will also show up on your application, but as a link, not directly visible. The candidate bio is just, simple, who am I, or kind of your little interest, little background, what your major is, and whatnot. If you need more details, you could always email me, and I can tell you what I included in my bio last year. Moving forward.
Wait, Robin.
Yeah.
So if I could ask, I guess, two questions that don't relate to each other, but they relate to what you were mentioning.
Okay.
So for the essay, I started at it. I was doing very good, and then I noticed, oh damn it, it's a 500-word limit. Was there going to be any exemptions for that if we wanted to go slightly over?
Please keep it in the 500-word limit. I don't want to be a stickler. That's not my reason. One is, we have this essay visible because we want the voters to read it. We don't want them to read just yours and then get tired out and not read other candidates. Also, this is a good experience as e-board members, student leaders, to be able to follow guidelines. And down the road, when I was doing college application, that word limit, yes, I understand it's very difficult. It's difficult trying to tell your life story, who you are, in a certain character limit, but it is very important to be concise, to not, go on and on and on. Just hit the most important things and make it cohesive, and that is some of the challenge, and we want that challenge to be there. So we do require you keep it on the 500-word limit.
Okay.
As well as the bio. But good question.
And for the second question was, I have the resume set up, but for the resume, is that going to be just something for, I guess, you guys to have, or is the voter gonna click a link to see that? Or
I'm glad you brought that. Last year we did have the resume available as a link on the SGA page. Something to note with that said, I had this issue that Ian and I had to work through. That I'm glad you brought up is, please do not put your personal address and phone number on your resume. I know normally on resumes, we have that on the top. A lot of people take that out. You have to edit a little bit if you have to, but do not post that if you're concerned about your address. If you don't care, that's fine. But if you don't want your personal information out there to the public, just remember to take that out.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. All right, let's move forward. Again, if anyone has a question like Clayton just did while I'm presenting, please unmute yourself and feel free to ask. And again, if you can hold your question, we'll go do questions at the end. So this is, maybe more important than the eligibility, once you get in, it's very important to know what you're getting into. This is a commitment, which is why we make it known in your application all your responsibilities in the Constitution and bylaws, but also in the application, specific dates. If you have a trip planned, don't take this a possible position from someone else that can make those commitments, because that will be an issue. We had candidates who couldn't make certain days, and we didn't let them run because it was a major requirement. So everything listed in the elections guidelines, those dates you need to mark on your calendars. You need to block them out. Of course, if there's emergencies, we'll address those. But please make sure to know all the dates that you are required to attend. Some key facts are on this slide. This is all also available on the application and guidelines. There is a little error on the application. So the application close date is April 16th. It's been open, and then you'll be notified on the 17th if you're eligible. That doesn't mean if you, just to let you know if you're eligible in terms of GPA and conduct standing. Let's see. Yeah, so campaigning is a little different once you're eligible. We're doing online campaigning. With that said, you have the chance to submit an Instagram post to Ariana. Send it to me. I can forward it to Ariana, or you can send it through the Bergen SGA page. Just put it in the in Instagram format and a little blurb, an image or two to kind of advertise yourself. We will post one for each candidate. If you need more details on that, you can reach out to me and Ariana. Let's see. Yeah, so this is maybe not going to be as applicable now, but there is a budget cap for campaigning. It's $100 for each candidate, and if you're doing a ticket, meaning you're running as a group of candidates, the different positions, there's a $250 limit. We do check receipts and whatnot if we see that you are required to submit it if you spend money on anything campaigning. So say you commission someone to make an amazing Instagram post that you want us to share. We need the receipts for that, so you're not going overboard. And this is just to make it fair for all the students. Actual elections are going to be open on April 20th at 8 a.m. and it will close promptly April 24th at 5 p.m. This is only for Bergen students. Unfortunately, your grandma cannot vote for you. This is for Bergen students, and this is actually, as a candidate, it's your goal to advertise it to all your friends and classmates and cohorts to go vote for the elections. We want a voter turnout. We want a democratic process. So that's very important. And of course, Ariana and the Elections Committee will do their best on our part to make sure people are voting. There is also an appeals process that this is not for the alumni trustee position, but for the e-board position, there is a appeal process. So those are the dates right there that you can get in any appeals for consideration. What this is this isn't after the votes, the results come out. This is prior to it. If you feel like a candidate conducted him or herself in a manner that would disqualify them, and you want to notify the Elections Committee, this is your chance. You will take any appeals into consideration. We don't foresee that happening. Hopefully we don't have that, but that is an available process. Yes, Clay.
For appeals, wasn't that used mainly when it was like in-person voting? Because I'm not sure what criteria would be in this election, right?
I guess, for example, say you see a candidate, I'm going to use, say I'm running against you and I start posting on my social media, talking trash about you, making up lies and putting you down. That goes against the elections process. And if you want to bring that to the attention of the elections committee, that would be an example.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so this slide has some of the not all, this is not all encompassing, but this is some of the expectations. Again, I kind of addressed this before. The dates and the guidelines are very important for the e-board members to be available for and be responsible for. And this slide just has some of the other expectations that we have for e-board members. If you are elected and you win the election and you become next year's e-board member, you have expectations to follow, and you are held at a higher standard. Like any, I don't want to get too political, but any elected officials should conduct themselves in a different manner. So I'll just leave it at that. All right, so moving on, the new e-board members will be announced on April 28th. I'll reach out to the candidates. I believe we'll also include like the actual vote count and let the next year's e-board members notified of results. And first, it will be announced publicly, and we will most likely swear you in at a SGA meeting quickly after that. Unfortunately, we can't do this in the way that we normally have, so we're going to try our best to make it an honorable and memorable experience. So the elections positions are going to be listed on these slides. Fortunately, we have the e-board members, so instead of just reading through the slides, you briefly have Bernie and Helen and the other members describe your position.
Hi everybody. So my name is Bernie. I'm the president for SGA, and what my job entails is being the face of SGA. So I do a lot of the talking to administration as well with Helen. We also have a seat in faculty senate. We do have a vote, and that's very important because it's a lot of academic policies that are that we do have a right to say something about those policies and vote in. And the president coordinates the e-board meetings, vice president coordinates the SGA meetings as a whole, and our system worked differently for the past few years, but now all entities are all together. So all e-board members are despite like the traditional hierarchy that you hear from like president has been the highest, all e-board members are equal, and everybody is very important to the role. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And yeah.
Thank you. Helen, are you here?
Hi. My name is Helen Whitty. I'm the vice president for the 2019-2020 school year for the SGA. My responsibilities really entail running the Senate, so advising the 4 Senate committees, which include academic affairs, diversity, college affairs, and public relations. But I think it's important that we as an e-board really work well together. So I also work with Robin, with the justices, as well as Elijah for our student activities board or the treasurer to make sure everything works together. Bernie and I work a lot. We both go to faculty senate meetings as well as Board of Trustees meetings, in addition to any other meetings with students or members of the college community who ask for meetings with us. If you have any questions about Vice President, feel free to contact me. My email is sgavicepresident@me.bergen.edu. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Elijah, you're up.
Hey guys, there's Elijah Serrano. I am the SGA treasurer. Basically, what I do is I look over the budget for SGA and for Student Activities Board. Even though the Student Activities Board is a subsect of SGA, they still have their own budget. Not only do I do that, but I also help out the general specialist for SC 110 for Club Spotlight, which is exactly how it sounds. And following that, I also work alongside one of the advisors with Student Activities Board. And basically, Student Activities Board is another way for students to get involved in campus life here at Bergen. So they're not just sitting in the student center on their phones doing nothing, that they're able to actually be involved and interested. Other than that, I work very closely with Bernie, the president, and in terms of keeping up with what we want to spend the budget on. And then I also do reports every now and then. If we spend too much money or if we have money to spend, what we can spend it on. Basically logistics on money managing. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, thank you. So unfortunately, our executive secretary member had to leave her position halfway, so we don't have her to speak today. But details on that are actually, if you want more about that, unless one of the board member wants to speak on it, is on this slide, and also more in detail in the bylaws, page 4 actually. So you can always refer to that if you're interested in the executive. This should actually say executive secretariat. My apologies. So moving on, actually something Ariana brought up, could everyone on the elections committee and more important the e-board write your positional emails in the chat?
Robin, can I talk about executive secretary for a moment?
First of all, this is Ian Wolf. He's one of the SGA advisors, my personal mentor. So let's hear him out.
Thanks, Robin. So Robin, you've been doing a great job, and I've been listening in the entire time. Some great questions about the process and everything. And I'm very thankful that Robin, as well as the elections committee, have done a great job of moving this process online, given the coronavirus pandemic. As relates to the executive secretary position, this is a role that we, as an SGA, changed a little bit from previous years. Previously, it was executive assistant, and a lot of people sort of got confused with what that meant as executive assistant. The executive secretary is falling in line with how the college really defines, the person who's like an administrative assistant, the support person to ensure that the day-to-day operations of an organization run as smoothly as possible. So, as Robin just said, we don't have one currently, but this is a position that is in the constitutional bylaws for the upcoming year. And really this person is in charge of making sure that all the meeting minutes are done, that rooms are reserved, that people know how to find different information as relates to the SGA, and sort of be like a central hub or a gatekeeper for everything SGA, whether that be minutes, initiatives or programs, bills or resolutions that we're working on, the calendar, so people know where they need to be, when they need to be where. So really this is, as I sort of describe it, the person that is the glue of the executive board and holds everyone together. That's all that I got.
Thank you, Ian. That's perfect. And actually, we're very fortunate to have Brian Gomez. He's the current Board of Trustees Alumni rep. Brian, do you want to talk a little briefly on your role?
Yes. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good. Good. So I serve as this year's 2019-2020 Alumni Trustee representative. Essentially, what the role entails is that I serve pretty much as the liaison between the students and administration for the Board of Trustees. And it's a very unique role in that you pretty much voice not only the concerns of students and what's going on to the Board of Trustees, but you also provide your input, which is very important. And that you understand that that as your role, that you are also contributing and that you're actively engaging. So it's personally from my experience, it's been a really engaging learning leadership, and I learned a lot about governance. And I will say it's something that will really help you out in terms of learning more about the college and how it runs. And I think if you're involved with SGA, you probably know more about it. If not, if you're involved in other organizations, you probably know some parts of it, and this will really allow you to understand how community colleges run and public institutions specifically. So just feel, but yeah.
Thank you, Brian. So one key thing is, one cool thing is Brian gets a vote like any other trustee member. That's very cool. Another thing is, as a title suggests, you have to be an alumni, so you have to be graduating this academic year, and you know, for next year's alumni trustee representative, you have to be an alumni. So having graduated. So pretty much opposite of the board members in terms of that eligibility. All right, so thank you, Brian. Thank you, everyone else. So moving forward, we're going to be going a little time over, but I have this. We have extra 15 minutes, so no issues. Something to be mindful about if you're becoming if you're interested in becoming an e-board member, and if you're elected, is it is a time commitment. There are a lot of responsibilities. There are a lot of meetings and events to coordinate and also attend, be present at. So, you know, if you are serious about these positions, just know that it is a time commitment and a serious responsibility. But at the same time, we have great mentors and peers to help us throughout the process. I would say probably none of us on the e-board really felt like we were ready for the roles, but you know, we you know, transformed into being responsible for our positions relatively quickly, and it's a great learning experience and a growing experience. So just keep that in mind. I mentioned this a little before. If you are elected, you know, you are representing the student government organization and also the college. So you know, please don't be a candidate if you are genuinely worried that you're going to get in trouble, and because that will be a bigger issue if you're a elected member. Just mindful about what you're posting on social media and what you have on social media as of now. If you are becoming a candidate, that is public, because that could get you trouble and potentially even withdrawn as an applicant. Something that the previous Chief Justice had in there is about dress code. You will be attending like Board of Trustee meeting and meeting administrators, administration members. So if you are elected, please try to have some formal dress available. If you need, for financial reasons, certain suits and whatnot, the school does have a free, Dress for Success group that offers free suits and whatnot. This is just a little statement talking about how the Elections Committee members have to be neutral throughout this process. So David on Scott, Ariana, Blaze, also we have another member, Steven, couldn't make it. You can't have them, please don't reach out to them to ask to help your candidacy, because they do have to stay neutral, that includes me. All right, so we're slightly over time. Before we go to questions, I want to quickly show you guys. Hold up. If you go on bergen.edu / just SGA, just Google on the Google search Bergen SGA, and you go to this page. Over here, you have everything you need to know about the elections. You have the actual application link here. You have the guidelines here, the emails of all the e-board members, and here we have the Constitution and bylaws. Like I mentioned before, if you need to know more about the different positions, you can access these. And for the alumni trustee, Ariana shared more about that Bryant provided, and I believe she'll be posting more videos and whatnot that will explain that role. So with that said, I want to open it up now for some questions from the candidates. Do we have any questions? Now's your chance.
I just wanted to confirm something. So on the application, the online application, it says that all the deadline for supporting documentation is April 9th, but like so we just have to submit the resume.
If you tuned in a little late, I mentioned that. Maybe I was a little too quick in going through that. There was a little error on the application. No, it's okay. I'm glad you brought that up. There was a little error on the application when we were transitioning to to relate to the COVID-19 closures. Everything is due April 16th online, so you have until that date to get everything in. However, with that said, we won't be taking any late applications. So all the material supplemental online application is that April 16th date. Thank you. That's a great question.
Thank you.
Yeah, April 16th. Any other questions, clarifications?
I have a good question.
Yeah.
I remember before you guys mentioned that we're gonna have like this interview process where you guys are gonna question us, like question the candidates. Is that gonna still occur?
Like the candidate forum?
Yeah, kind of.
So, I mean, Ian, you could speak a little on this. As of now, we didn't include that. Part of my concern was, be mindful of candidates who might not have access to like a webcam. Ideally, that would have been a great thing to do virtually that we could have still done. But as of now, no, that has been scrapped.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. If I can just echo what Robin said, we're very cautious and we want to be respectful of what people's technological capabilities are right now. After we have a better sense of who the applicants are for all the positions, we'll, as an elections committee, come to a decision for how we're going to let people know more about who the candidates are. And I just want to answer one thing that's going on in the chats. The voting is going to be done all the same as it was in years past, where it's all going to be virtual. It was already online at least the last 5 years, and it's going to remain so. And students are going to have a unique link where they can vote through a software that we're using for the first time this year, which is called Election Runner. So everyone will only have one vote, which Robin said earlier, and it's all going to be online, similar to what it was the last couple years in person.
Thank you. Any other questions in terms of dates, process, eligibility?
Yes. Will this doc be shared with us?
What doc?
The presentation you were going through, Google slide.
I could make that available. I could have that posted, the link at least. And this meeting, hopefully the recording actually got recorded and saved, that we can have that link shared as well.
Sounds good.
So Robin, what we can do is once we have this recording done, which will take a couple hours to come up on your WebEx, usually it takes it'll take 4 or 5 hours. Once we have that done, we can convert it into a YouTube link through the college.
Okay.
And we can take that along with the PowerPoint Google slide deck that you've created and add that to the SGA's website.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the plan. Write that down. Any other questions?
Yes.
Stephanie, yes.
Question. Is the election, excuse me, is the final voting going to be like virtually, like on the 1st of May, rather than in person?
So all the voting will be online. We'll send the link out. There will be no in-person voting because this campus will still be closed. But we hope. It's kind of a separate matter, but I believe for the end of the school year. So definitely school definitely won't be opening during the elections.
Probably till September, right?
I can't speak on that, but all the elections will be happening. All the voting actually will be happening via online link.
Oh yeah, until like the until like next yeah, like the third week of April, right? Then the voting opens.
The voting is until the 24th of April, 5 p.m.
24th of April. Oh yeah, okay. So Friday, that's gonna be not next Friday, but the following Friday. Got it.
Thank you. Anyone else have any clarifying questions before we close the meeting?
I just wanted to encourage everybody to stay safe and healthy, and I'll be hoping for the best for your families.
Thank you. All right, so if there's nothing else, I will close the meeting. Thank you everyone for participating. Thank you for everyone that presented, and thank you all the candidates for logging on to ask your questions.